up to 8%. That's how much muscle mass we can lose per decade, often starting subtly in our 30s. It's a gradual process science calls sarcopenia, a silent thief threatening our strength, mobility, and independence as we age. But does it have to be this way? Is this loss inevitable? Welcome, everyone. Today we're diving into the latest scientific findings on building and maintaining muscle after 50. We'll debunk myths, shed light on the physiological changes, and provide you with concrete strategies in training and nutrition to help you stay strong and vital, even at an advanced age. Because it's truly never too late to rediscover your own strength. We often talk about wrinkles or gray hair as signs of aging, but deep within our bodies, a far more consequential change is happening: the loss of muscle mass. As mentioned, scientists call this process sarcopenia. Research shows this loss often accelerates after the age of 60. The consequences are far-reaching: declining strength, limited mobility, a higher risk of falls, and consequently a loss of independence in daily life. But muscles are much more than just engines for movement. As science confirms, they are crucial for our metabolism, support bone health, and significantly contribute to our overall well-being. Strong muscles enable us to live life actively, carry groceries, climb stairs, play with grandchildren. They are the foundation for independence well into old age. For a long time, the image of the frail senior dominated our perception of aging. But that image is changing. Research today clearly emphasizes activity and strength are not utopian ideals beyond 50. It's time to bury old myths and embrace the possibility of building strength even later in life. To understand how we can counteract muscle loss, we need to look at the physiological changes that come with age. A central challenge is known as anabolic resistance. Simply put, this means our muscles don't respond as efficiently to the signals that trigger growth, especially to the protein in our diet. They don't hear the signals quite as well, so to speak. Therefore, older adults often need slightly more protein to effectively stimulate muscle protein synthesis, the process of building new muscle tissue. Hormonal changes also play a role. In men, testosterone levels gradually decline, which can make muscle building more challenging, as testosterone is a key anabolic or muscle-building hormone. In women, a specific and often more pronounced change occurs: menopause. This is the natural biological process marking the end of menstrual cycles, accompanied by a significant drop in the hormone estrogen, primarily produced by the ovaries. But this estrogen is far more than just a reproductive hormone. It has diverse roles in the body, including supporting muscle health. Scientific evidence suggests that estrogen directly and indirectly helps maintain muscle mass and promote muscle strength. It appears to support muscle building, protein synthesis, slow down muscle breakdown, and also possesses anti-inflammatory properties important for muscle tissue repair and regeneration after exercise. When estrogen levels drop significantly during and after menopause, these protective and building effects on muscle can diminish. This means women in this life stage can become more susceptible to accelerated muscle loss, sarcopenia, and associated strength decline. Body composition can also change more easily, often shifting towards a higher body fat percentage, particularly around the abdomen, which in turn affects metabolic processes that can also impact muscle health. Studies suggest that this effect of estrogen deficiency on muscles in women after age 55 is often indeed more pronounced than the effect of the slower testosterone decline in men of the same age. Knowing about these connections is important, not to discourage, but to understand why targeted measures are so crucial, especially for women over 50. Levels of growth hormone and insulin-like growth factor 1, IGF-1, both important players in muscle metabolism, also tend to decrease with age in both sexes. While hormone replacement therapy might be an option in very specific, individually assessed cases to alleviate severe menopausal symptoms and potentially offer benefits for muscles and bones, it is not a standard solution for muscle building alone and carries potential significant risks. Such therapy should only be managed by a physician and requires careful consideration of risks versus benefits. The truly good news, confirmed by numerous studies, however, remains. Regular exercise, especially strength training, is an extremely effective means of maintaining or even improving muscle mass and function despite these hormonal changes, for women just as much as for men. Lastly, the regenerative capacity of our muscles also slows down. Repair processes after exertion take longer. This could be partly due to a potential decrease in the number and function of muscle stem cells, known as satellite cells, with age. Longer recovery times between training sessions thus become more important. So what does this mean for training specifically? The scientific answer is clear. Strength training is the foundation. It's the most effective method to counteract sarcopenia. And research impressively shows even very old individuals can significantly increase their muscle strength and size through targeted strength training. Particularly efficient are so-called compound exercises. Think squats, variations of deadlifts, push-ups, or rows. They engage multiple muscle groups simultaneously, save time, and often simulate everyday movements. Furthermore, activating large muscle masses can promote the release of the body's own growth hormones. The key to success lies in the principle of progressive overload. This simply means that the demand placed on the muscles must be gradually increased over time, whether through slightly more weight, more repetitions, or perhaps an additional training session. Start with weights or resistance you can control well, and slowly increase the challenge as an exercise becomes noticeably easier. Regarding frequency and intensity, experts recommend at least 2 strength training sessions per week, covering all major muscle groups. Some studies suggest that 3 to 4 sessions per week might yield even better results, provided recovery is adequate. The intensity should be challenging. A good guideline is feeling like you could perhaps manage another 2 to 4 clean repetitions at the end of a set, but it's already significantly strenuous. More important than absolute numbers is feeling a distinct effort and working the muscles while always maintaining correct form. Listen to your body and avoid overtraining. This is crucial, especially as you age. Even though men tend to build muscle slightly easier due to higher testosterone levels, and women need to consider hormonal specifics after menopause, the fundamental principles of strength training are equally effective and beneficial for both sexes. Alongside training, nutrition plays an equally central role. Protein is the building block of muscles. As mentioned, due to anabolic resistance, older adults tend to need slightly more protein than younger individuals. Recommendations often range between 0.45 to 0.73 grams of protein per pound of body weight per day. Those actively seeking muscle growth might benefit from slightly more, perhaps in the range of 0.55 to 0.9 grams per pound. It's important to note these amounts are guidelines. Individual needs depend on factors like your activity level, health status, and personal goals. Consulting with a dietitian or nutritionist can provide clarity. Crucially, it's beneficial to distribute this protein intake throughout the day, ideally aiming for about 25 to 35 grams per main meal to optimally stimulate muscle protein synthesis, as research suggests. Good sources include lean meat, fish, eggs, dairy products like Greek yogurt or cottage cheese, but also plant-based options like legumes, tofu, nuts, and seeds. And what about dietary supplements? Some can indeed be helpful allies with well-documented scientific backing. Creatine is one of the most researched supplements. Combined with strength training, it has been shown to help increase muscle mass and strength in older adults. A daily dose of 3 to 5 grams is considered safe and effective for healthy individuals. Vitamin D is also important, not just for bone health, but also for muscle function and strength. Deficiency is unfortunately common and can increase the risk of falls. Supplementing with 800 to 1,000 international units per day may be beneficial, but ideally should be based on a blood test and consultation with your doctor. Omega-3 fatty acids might also play a supporting role in counteracting anabolic resistance, although the evidence isn't quite as robust as for creatine and vitamin D. For all other supplements, critical evaluation of the evidence and consultation with healthcare professionals like doctors or registered dietitians is strongly advised. Don't forget, sleep and recovery are the often underestimated heroes of muscle growth. Important repair and building processes occur during sleep. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. Equally important are adequate rest periods between training sessions. Allowing at least one, preferably two, rest days for the same muscle group is sensible to give the body time to adapt. A holistic approach, however, considers more than just strength. Cardiovascular exercise, or cardio, is essential for heart health. It improves overall fitness and can even support performance during strength training. Health experts recommend at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity activity like brisk walking or cycling, or 75 minutes of vigorous intensity activity like jogging per week. Low-impact options such as swimming, cycling, or walking are often ideal for older adults. Equally important are mobility and flexibility. They maintain the range of motion in our joints, making everyday tasks easier and playing a crucial role in injury prevention. Regular stretching, yoga, or Tai Chi can make valuable contributions here, while also promoting relaxation. Of course, any training carries potential risks, especially when starting later in life or after a long break. Overuse injuries, back problems, or joint issues can occur, and recovery from an injury may take longer than in younger years. That's why intelligent training is so critical. A thorough warm-up before each session, learning and maintaining correct technique, perhaps initially under the guidance of a qualified trainer or physical therapist, and consistently listening to your body's signals are essential. If you feel pain, don't ignore it. Take a break or modify the exercise. Before starting a new or significantly more intense training program, especially if you are over 40 or 50, have pre-existing health conditions, or have been inactive for a while, seeking medical advice is highly recommended. A doctor can assess potential risks and give you the green light. An individualized plan that considers your health status and abilities is the safest and most effective path to success. The journey to our current understanding of strength training in older age was long. Pioneers like Jack LaLanne brought the idea of activity in aging into public consciousness early on, but for a long time, prejudices and fear of overexertion dominated. It wasn't until the 1970s through the 90s that research laid the scientific foundation, unequivocally showing that older and even very old adults benefit tremendously from strength training. The term sarcopenia was coined in 1989 to specifically describe age-related muscle wasting. Today, major health organizations issue clear, evidence-based recommendations, and research continues to focus on optimizing training and nutritional strategies to better address phenomena like anabolic resistance. The future promises further advancements. Research into optimal training volume and intensity, the potential use of technologies like neuromuscular electrical stimulation or wearables for motivation and monitoring, and a deeper understanding of the role of specific nutrients will expand our knowledge. At the same time, we must continue to debunk persistent myths. No, it is definitely not too late to start building muscle at 50, 60, 70, or even 80. No, strength training, when done correctly and adapted, is not inherently dangerous for older adults, but on the contrary, beneficial. And no, women generally do not build excessive, unwanted muscle mass through strength training, but rather shape and strengthen their bodies in a healthy and functional way. There are many inspiring examples. Consider Jim Arrington, the world's oldest male bodybuilder, still competing well into his 90s. Or Richard Morgan, who started rowing only at age 73, became a multiple world champion, and at 93, exhibits the physical condition of a much younger man. Edith Connor, who found bodybuilding at 65 and became known as the oldest competitive female bodybuilder at 77, also strikingly demonstrates what's possible. However, it doesn't have to be about world titles or stage appearances. Much more important are the countless ordinary people over 50 who, through adapted programs, can once again climb stairs effortlessly, carry grocery bags, or play with grandchildren on the floor. This everyday strength and improved quality of life are often the greatest rewards. These examples merely show the potential within us when we become active and follow the right strategies. They are living proof that commitment pays off. Let's summarize the key points. The science is clear. Age-related muscle loss is not an inevitable fate. Through targeted strength training, an adapted protein-conscious diet, and sufficient recovery, we can maintain and often significantly improve our muscle mass and strength well into old age. It's time to shed outdated notions of aging. Take control of your physical fitness and muscle health. Here again are the most important recommendations for people 50 and older at a glance. Incorporate at least 2, preferably 3, strength training sessions per week. Focus on compound exercises that challenge multiple muscle groups simultaneously. Increase the load slowly and steadily, the principle of progressive overload. Ensure adequate protein intake, adjusted to your activity level, distributed throughout the day, often ranging from 0.45 to 0.73 grams per pound of body weight, or more if actively building muscle. Consider science-backed supplements like creatine and vitamin D after consulting with your doctor and assessing your needs. Prioritize sleep and recovery. They are essential for repair and growth. Supplement your training with regular cardiovascular sessions and flexibility exercises for comprehensive fitness. Seek medical advice before starting a new or more intense training program. Be patient and consistent. Building muscle takes time, but the results will come. And most importantly, find a form of movement that you enjoy. Lifelong strength and vitality. It's not a matter of age, but of the right strategy and personal commitment. As we've heard, it's scientifically proven and practically achievable. It is truly never too late to start. Take the first step. That's it for this episode. We hope this information and insight have been valuable and motivating for you. If you enjoyed the episode and found it helpful, we'd appreciate a thumbs up that supports our work and helps others discover this valuable content too. If something was missing or you have suggestions for future topics, please share your constructive feedback in the comments section. Stay active, stay strong, and shape your long, healthy, and happy life with self-determination. Until next time.